Hi, YouTube. So I want to have a conversation with you about how to stop sabotaging yourself. How to just cut out the self-sabotage once and for all. So I'm pretending like you're with me in the car, and no, I'm not going to do any distracted driving today. I'm very focused on driving, and I'm just gonna have this conversation with you like we're riding in the car together, okay? So how to stop sabotaging yourself. Here is the entry point, or the entryway to self-sabotage in someone's consciousness. The entryway is guilt, okay? So, for instance, if there is any guilt in your consciousness about anything, there is going to be a domino chain effect that's going to be kicked off from the guilt. Now let's go before the guilt, and then let's go after the guilt. So before the guilt comes judgment. Judgment usually comes from growing up like I did, very fundamentalist Christian background, 26 years as a Jehovah's Witness, as you know my story. There was something wrong with everything, and there was especially something wrong with everything that felt good and everything that was fun. There was something wrong with it. It was bad, it was bad, it was bad. And they told us never do it, and they told us if you did that, you were bad, and if you did it and you were bad, then bad things were going to happen, and God was going to be very angry, and eventually God would kill you, but not after God tortured you. God would kill you, and then after killing you, God would torture you for a really, really, really long time. Now, breathe. Judgment. Judgments, that's bad, that's good. That's what kicks off the chain reaction, right? So you have judgment. And so we walk around in our mind, the ego is always judging things. Now, when I say judgment, I do not mean discernment. There is a distinction between discernment and the wisdom of discernment and judgment. Judgment says that's bad, that's good. You don't know what's bad, you don't know what's good. Because God could take something that seems so bad and make it so good, or God could take something that seems so good and show you this is not good for you, boo, right? So we don't really know what's good and what's bad for us. So why speak to it? I'm gonna close my windows and put on the air so that we don't have all this air effect going on, right? Wind in our videos, because you just ride with me in the car, right, boo? All right, so judgment. After you judge something, if you did the thing, now you're going to feel bad about what you did, and that's guilt. So people that judge, have a lot of judgment going on, also have a lot of guilt going on, because they feel bad now that they did something that supposedly was bad. Now, what comes after the guilt? After the guilt comes punishment. You have to have punishment if you think that you're guilty, because what happens when you go to a court of law? In a court of law, they say, what say you, Madam Foreman or Mr. Foreman, the foreman of the jury? We find the defendant guilty. Okay, well, guilty is charged on all counts or whatever. As soon as you judge yourself and find yourself guilty, what naturally comes next? You have to have punishment. You can't have a crime without punishment. See, your subconscious mind has all this stuff set up. So now there's going to be punishment. And the punishment is you're not going to get what you deserve or what you desire because you think you don't deserve it. So you're not going to get what you desire because you think you don't deserve it. So I'll give you a story. One of my I love him. A good member of our community, our global community. He called me and he said, Reverend Val, there's something so bad going on. And I was like, oh, let me tip you up a little bit. Reverend Val, there's something that's just, it just had him in a way, right? And he's like, I knew I could call you, so something told me to call you. So I listened to what he said, and he said this. He said, I was about to pay off all this debt. I was about to be free. There was going to be this big thing coming to me that was so good. He said that it looked like I was already approved for it. Matter of fact, they told me I was already approved for it. And right at the last minute, before I was getting ready to get this thing that would free me of all this debt, that would free my mind and clear my mind, they said no, it was denied. Right at the last minute, when he knew that he had it, and he knew that he was so excited about it, and he knew that this was for him, at the last minute they said, denied. And he said he felt like the universe just yanked it away from him, and he couldn't understand why, because he had prayed for this and affirmed for it. You know how you do. You have it on your vision board. You are just, so knowing that you have this thing. And then disappointment happens. At the very last minute, something happens and you don't get what you want. You know what I'm talking about? Something happens at the very last minute and you don't get what you want. Now, if you are not clear in your mind that you are sabotaging yourself, you will blame it on the outside party and you will be off in the bushes, because that is not the issue. It's never about anybody or anything outside of self. Everything is an inside job. Something in him sabotaged him right when he was getting ready to be at the finish line. Ooh, that hurts. The disappointment. And here is the double-edged sword of self-sabotage. The double-edged sword of self-sabotage is that now disappointment has kicked in. So because you're so disappointed, I'm stopped at a light. That's why I'm looking at you. And with my hands off the wheel, I'm not still moving. Thank you, angels, for supporting me in this and really helping me in channeling this information. This is so critical. You could stop sabotaging yourself right now. This is so critical. You could forever stop sabotaging yourself. And I'm going to give you the solution in 1 second. So, you know that you're sabotaging yourself when you get right to the point of the thing. Now, here's the double-edged sword. You get sabotaged, you sabotage yourself, and then you're disappointed. And the disappointment, lingering in the background of the consciousness, does not allow you to go for the really big stuff that dreams are made of. Because something might happen. I can't take the pain of disappointment. So the pain of disappointment keeps you living small, mediocre, normal. When you're not normal, it keeps you trying to live small, mediocre, normal, rather than go for something really, really big and feel that disappointment again. So you just say, I'll just go for this. And you go for something you know you can achieve. If you only go for stuff you know you can achieve, what do you need God for? What's God for? Isn't God for God-sized things that are far beyond your ability to create on your own? I mean, why do we pray? Why do we affirm? Why do we, do all the spiritual practices that we do? We do them so that we are consciously connected to the one, led by the one, ruled by the one. We're in conscious commune with the one that is all in, all through, all for, all, the one. So if you could do it in your own human capacity, why do you need to do all the spiritual practices so that you can be in complete conscious union with the one who creates worlds that lives inside you? All right. That's a double-edged sword of self-sabotage. Then it creates a disappointment. Then you don't go for the big stuff. Then you don't live a dream life. Next thing you look up 20 years later and you're normal. Please don't be normal, because you're not normal. All right. What's the solution, Val? Because you know I'm a solutions gal. And you know I have a solution for you because I love you. All right. Here's the solution as I pull up to Wegmans. Okay. Here's the solution. The solution is holiness. 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 I want you to go to the Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles, lesson 39. This is the lesson that freed me from guilt, that consequently freed me from self-sabotage. My holiness is my salvation. Say it with me. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. And when you know that your holiness saves you from self-sabotage, your holiness saves you from disappointing yourself, your holiness saves you from blocking your blessings, your holiness saves you from destroying the good that God gave you, that guilt wants to just rip away from you. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. That's A Course in Miracles, lesson 39. Commit it to memory, read it every day, love it, eat it, breathe it, sleep it, think it. My holiness is my salvation. Your holiness is the solution to guilt, and it will wipe guilt out of your consciousness, because you will know that there is nothing to be guilty about, because you are holy. You've always been holy, and there is nothing your holiness cannot do. Indeed, your holiness saves the world. Yeah. Ooh, that was delicious. I think I need a cigarette. Oh my God, I love you. I love you, and I want you to have the most amazing life free of self-sabotage that you could ever imagine. I want you to have God-sized dreams come true, like this big, huge move I'm doing to Bali, Indonesia. God-sized dreams. That's what you're on the planet for, to create some big, huge God-sized dreams. Live your divine destiny. I love you. God bless you. This is me online at ValerieLove.com. And if you love what you see on this channel, if you love what you see on this channel, feel free to tip with Bitcoin. I accept Bitcoin. Feel free to send a tithe gift. Feel free to pick up books. You'll see them all at ValerieLove.com. I love you, and I am always praying for you to remember who you are and to go higher, 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 higher in consciousness. ValerieLove.com. Be blessed.